Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look in the Soulforge and tell you what I think is good and bad in there, what's worth crafting and what's worth avoiding. Also going to take a look at the latest Glory Troop, tell you what I think of that, and tell you what I think is the best mythic of the ones in the Soulforge available to craft. But first things first, what's brown and sticky? A stick. Oh dear, sorry, it's bad, I know. Anyway, Bound Mage is the Glory Troop. What does this do? It converts all yellow gems to web gems and summons a spider swarm. So summon is good. Lack of extra turn or ability to get an extra turn is not so great about that, because there's potential to just set the enemy up for them. Allied elves gain 2 life, immune to poison, disease, lycanthropy and deathmark, and immune to mana drain, silence, fairy fire and web. Right, so I can sort of see where that's going. The fact that that troop is immune to web, unless you want to get webbed yourself by your own spell, might be a good idea to have a team of impervious troops or ones that are at least immune to web themselves. Otherwise you could be in a spot of bother with that team, but that makes it a very limited choice team. Other than that, when you cast that, you've got to be really careful that when you convert those yellow to web gems, there's not a match for the opposition, which they could then web you. And you want to obviously have a exploding type troop of some sort that explodes or destroys gems in your team, so you can actually benefit from them next turn. Or maybe make a match somehow. Yeah, but tricky to use. But does have potential. Sitting on the fence, 5 out of 10. I could be wrong. Could be awesome. Yeah. Don't know till I tried it. Awkward one, that. Could be good, so I'm going to sit in the middle, 5 out of 10. Right, as ever, grab these things up to level 20 if you can, or in this case, quantity 41 to get this thing to Mythic. It does give you an awful lot of arcane spirit trait stones at the same time. I'll do that. So get that thing to level 20, and that's going to help your power level kingdoms in the long run in the game, which is very important. If you have any spare glory, then yeah, take these all the way up to 10 as well. Why not? Gives you more event keys, which are very useful indeed. Right, onto the Soulforge. Let's take a look at the weapons first. Tricky. All sorts there. Wow. Alright, let's have a look. Dark Staff. Deals a magic plus 4 damage to an enemy. Deal double damage if there's a dark storm, then create a dark storm. So if there's a dark storm, you'll get double damage. And if you can cast this twice in succession, you will still get double damage because you create a dark storm when you cast it. So yeah, that's okay, but more collectible than anything. Doomed Potions. Deal a magic plus 1 life to all allies, plus 2 per tempering level, give 5 mana to all other allies, and if the enemy has a doom, give 4 more mana. Give 2 magic to all allies for each green enemy. So a lot of things have to be going on there to get the most out of that. Not really a fan of these give life to all allies doomed weapons. Much prefer the ones that do damage. They are far more effective in battle. Book of Brambles. I don't see any brambles. Looks like a book of smooth treeness to me, but never mind. Deal magic based damage to an enemy boosted by elf allies, then create a mix of 6 green and purple gems for each elf ally. So obviously it has to be used with a elf team to get the most out of this, but can be good in the right situation providing you meet those requirements. Green and purple, but uses red and brown, so the rest of your troops need to use green and purple, or at least a couple of them do, to make the most out of that. But yeah, good if you meet those requirements. Choker of Zul'Kari. Remove all purple gems with no effect. Deal magic based damage to a single enemy boosted by the gems removed. If the enemy is from Zul'Kari or if the battle is in Zul'Kari, deal double damage. So this is kind of one of those what I call anti Kingdom weapon. This is anti-Zul'Kari. This is very good if you're fighting Zul'Kari troops or if it's in Zul'Kari, because you take away purple, which is the colour they like the most, but doesn't actually use purple itself. So certainly good in certain situations. Iranian Bloom. Magic based damage to an enemy boosted by Zul'Kari allies. Then create a mix of green and purple for each Zul'Kari ally. Again, uses brown and yellow, but it generates green and purple, so you have to make sure your other troops use some of them colours to get the most out of this, but certainly we will be effective in those situations. Quite often some of these weapons are really good for the event, so do bear that in mind. There's nothing absolutely essential like a life and death or a rope dart here, anything like that, but these will be effective for certain events, quite often the one which is ongoing at the moment. The Nightfall Blade. Sounds terrifying. Deal damage to the last enemy, and if they are poisoned, inflict 4 stacks of bleed. So they need to get poisoned to get the most out of that. But other than that, yeah, it's not that great. Collectible. Bound Darkness. Sounds a bit kinky. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by purple allies and elf allies. So purple elves, order of the day there, uses purple itself, so stick yourself in elf class and get a boost to that damage. Potential to be okay, but nothing essential. What else we got? Dark Shot. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy, create 5 purple gems boosted by webbed enemies. So yeah, it could work well with that troop that does the webbed thingies that we saw in the glory troop thing earlier. Or anybody that does webs would work well with Arachnian Weaver, because that webs everybody. And that's an elf. Potential. Potential. Doomed Ram. It's good, but not one of the best doomed weapons for me. Deals heavy splash damage to an enemy +4 per tempering level and stun all purple enemies. Cleanse all purple allies. Explode 4 gems. If the enemy has a doom, explode 3 more. So again, a lot needs to be going on to get the most out of that. And these are extremely expensive to get tempered, so you do have to bear that in mind. If you're a newer player, you're going to really struggle to get these things tempered up to a decent level. So bear that in mind. Any others? Nope. Yeah, so a good mix of different weapons there. Like I say, some of these will be really handy for the current journey event. So we'll take a look at that journey event later on, and then I'll mention if any of these are particularly useful. Now on to the troops. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. First up is Pycea. Do like this still. This wasn't that well received when it came along, but I liked it from the get-go, and I still do. Very good in a well thought out team. Destroys all green gems with full effect as if they were matched, then creates blue gems equal to the number of green gems destroyed. So you can create green for someone else on your team to get charged up, and then create an absolute ton of blue, which will charge up Pycea and maybe someone else on your team that uses blue at the same time. As well as that, you'll have 2 independent 30% chances to devour a random enemy. So you can get 2 devours out of that, and it does happen sometimes. It's pretty decent. I still like it. Vernalis. Yeah. Gives magic-based attack to the first 2 allies, give the same amount of life to the 2 weakest allies, and give 10 magic to the 2 strongest allies. The thing is with this is, you've got Ulor, who's a similar kind of troop, but he does the same kind of things, but in a negative way to the enemy. He actually takes away their attack, takes away magic, things like that, and I much prefer that. The one thing that Vernalis has got going for him, and it is really good, is that 3rd trait. Entangle and Faeryfy a random enemy when matching green gems is really good. You can get the whole opposite team entangled and Faeryfied really quickly in a strong green team that matches a lot of green. So not bad, but not great either. Quetzalma. Good. I like this a lot. Deals magic-based scatter damage boosted by a chosen gem colour, except yellow. Then create 10 yellow gems and remove all gems of the chosen colour. So that sounds slightly complicated, but when you actually use it, it's actually really easy to use. And can generate an absolute mass of mana for your team. As well as that, it has a really annoying 3rd trait. Eternal Dawn, a 20% chance to resurrect myself with full mana when I die. And yeah, when that comes in, that can be an absolute nightmare for you because you've just killed it and it comes back with full mana. That's if you're fighting it. If it's on your side, then obviously that is very handy indeed. Do like Quetzalma. Will of Nysha. Will of bit rubbish. Steals 3 magic from all enemies, then deals magic +1 damage to them. So yeah, the fact it steals magic is okay, and then deals that damage means if you cast it more than once, your damage will get boosted every single time because you're stealing that magic and adding it to your own. So that damage will go up by 12 every single time. But it's still not great. Nah, sorry, Will. Alright, on to the legendaries list ever so quickly. Crystanax, one of my favourite troops in the early game. Used to absolutely love it. Remove all gems of a chosen colour, deal a damage to them, and then summon a silver Drakon at the same time. Not bad at all, and I loved that third trait. Again, enchant when matching purple gems. Just made sure I had a purple troop on my team, so I had a reason to collect purple, and at the same time I started enchanting Crystanax. Tesla! Right, don't usually say it's worth crafting legendaries, wait for them to come up in chests, but there are exceptions to the rule, and Tesla is absolutely one of them. If you don't have Tesla, just buy her now. She's absolutely fantastic. Deals 8 true scatter damage boosted by all ally and enemy armor. So true scatter damage boosted by the enemy makes it usable in so many different teams. It is amazing. You can create some absolutely awesome teams with Tesla. I have some in my videos. Absolutely fantastic. Just go get her. Go get her. She's electrifying. Horror, horror. Winter Imp. One of the better imps. I like this one. Gains 8 magic on blue gem matches is its selling point. Then deals a true scatter damage to all enemies boosted by blue gems. If an enemy dies, freeze all enemies. And remember, every single time you make blue matches, you're putting up that magic by 8. In a blue strong team that gets lots of loops, that magic can go absolutely nuts. The Great Maw devours an enemy. Chomp, you are gone. Create 8 yellow and 8 brown gems, 1 cast only. Kind of collectible these days, but still is fairly decent in some teams. Right, so yeah, Tesla is actually the best troop here today. Full stop, just get Tesla. But if I have to give the Mythic of the Week, and I do, because I've said I'm already going to do it, then it's going to have to go to Quetzalma. Extremely good mana generator, does some decent scatter damage at the same time, annoying third trait if it's against you, brilliant if it's for you, and summons a Lightstorm too, which is yellow. So Quetzalma is my Mythic of the Week. So there it is, there's the Soulforge review for this week. I'll be back later on with my journey guide, so check that later if you feel like it. But thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.